Hey guys, welcome back to Beer and Beauty, and check me out, I've got bangs!
Bangs! I got bangs!
I got bangs! Not sure how I feel about it yet. I got like little wispy bangs just to even out my little baby hairs, and I still haven't tamed them to do exactly what I want, but I do think that they're cute. Bangs are nice for people who have big foreheads. It's Beer and Beauty, so today's beer we're gonna have is called Hashtags of the Rich and Famous from the Beard Brewing Company. Beard, like it's a beard, but it's a beard. Maybe I'll write it across the screen. And yeah, it's called Hashtags of the Rich and Famous. And the reason we're here today is because we're talking about something I'm not, rich and famous, because I'm a makeup artist. We're going to be talking a little bit about my experience at cinema makeup school. It's the second week of April, which means 2 years ago, this week, I finished my courses at cinema makeup school. And I've always had lots and lots of questions about what that experience was like, if it was worth it. I actually have a nice little list of questions I'm going to be going over today and talking about what it was like going to makeup school, cinema makeup school in particular. Oh, I just realized I have a cinema makeup school shirt that I wore yesterday and I'm not wearing today. Today I'm wearing my own company's shirt because later in a couple hours I'm going to be doing a little face painting gig. But yeah, but before we get all into that, let's try this puppy out. I've actually already tried it, but I'm so excited to try it again because it is quite good. Smells sweet. It's a DDH New England style pale ale with lactose added. This is a delicious, beautiful IPA. 6%, not too bad. It's a little strong, but not too strong. But lactose is one of those ingredients that really transforms the taste of the beer. Like, it makes it really complex. It gives it a tiny bit of sweetness, which kind of brings out the complexity of the different styles of hops in the beer. It's a really cool ingredient. It's very tasty, and I highly recommend this beer. It's a little bit more expensive than I would like. It's $16 for like a 4-pack, but it's really good, and I love it. Delicious. I guess we'll go ahead and start just getting into the video. Let's hops right into it. I can't take credit for that joke. Somebody in the comments suggested that to me, and I was just like, oh shit, that joke's kind of genius. But yeah, let's hops right into it. Actually, one more disclaimer. I am sick today, so sorry that my nose is a little red and raw. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. And this is going to be a big talking video, so I hope you can bear with me for all that. For those of you who don't know, Cinema Makeup School is a prestigious makeup school in Los Angeles. It's mostly known for prosthetics and special effects makeup. They're a very famous school for teaching you those makeup skills. They offer very rounded classes that teach a little bit of everything. They also have entry-level classes where they just kind of teach you basic makeup skills, and they even have hairstyling classes, mold making classes, sculpture, maquette sculpture classes, and they're known for producing a lot of industry professionals, some of the best makeup artists. A lot of makeup union workers have come from Cinema Makeup School. A lot of contestants on Face Off have come from Cinema Makeup School. And yeah, I have been interested in going to this school ever since I was in high school myself. I didn't end up going until 2016, so at that point I was already done with college and everything. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the next question, which is, what made you want to take courses at Cinema Makeup School? I'd been interested in makeup for a long time. If you watch my video about my face painting journey, my face painting kit, I talk a lot about that journey there, but let me give you a quick synopsis of what I talk about in that video. I'll leave the link down below if you want to learn more in depth, but I've always been an artistic kid ever since I was in high school. When I was in high school, I used to be really into doing really avant-garde stuff on my own face. And one of my teachers suggested that I should look into maybe becoming a makeup artist for Broadway. When I was 18, I got a job doing special effects makeup at Six Flags for Fright Fest. And I continued to do that for several years. I think 4 different seasons I came back to do special effects makeup, and I learned how it kind of combined so many of my passions. It combined my passion for art making, for horror, for transformation, being part of an artistic community, like for performance, like as I also performed as a character. I also acted in the haunted houses. Working that job told me early on that I wanted to be an artist. I needed to be an artist in my life, and preferably a special effects makeup artist. After that, I decided to, I didn't have really good grades in high school. When it was time to go on to college, I didn't get into a big fancy art college. I started taking classes at a community college, and I got my visual arts degree there, and then I went on to UMass and I got my bachelor's of fine arts degree. And when I graduated from UMass, I started to look into my skill set to see what kind of jobs I can pursue. And all throughout college and even a little bit in high school, I worked with an agency to do face painting gigs. And I also worked at Six Flags doing face painting during the season. Just, people would pay money to get their face painted, and I would face paint them, and I would do airbrush tattoos and henna tattoos. So out of college, I decided to start my own business doing face painting gigs. At first, it was very nerve-wracking. Within a year, I was able to learn how to do it full time. And at the end of that first year of working full time as a professional face painter, I decided to get a part-time job at Sephora because I know the winter would be slower for work for me. So I decided to get a job at Sephora because I had been interested in becoming more into the beauty realm of makeup rather than just special effects and face painting. So I applied for a job at Sephora. I applied for it once while I was in college and didn't get it. And then again, when I got out of college and I got my job at Sephora, just seasonally, just stocking shelves, but I was really excited to be part of this makeup world. And it wasn't until I even started working at Sephora that I ever wore foundation. I was never a big makeup person as far as the beauty realm of things, but I really wanted to get my foot into that door. And I really was hoping that working at Sephora would help me get to a point where I could do more freelance makeup and makeup applications. So I worked there for a year. Then I came back the following season to Sephora, and they hired me back again as an operations person, even though I really wanted to be more of a beauty makeup application kind of person, a color person, I wanted to be more involved into that realm of things, but I was still happy to be there at all because I loved being in an environment with lots of people that were passionate about makeup and skincare, and I met a lot of friends there that also do freelance work. And at the end of the season that year, I think this was 2016, end of that season, I decided the transition from being an ops person in Sephora to being a makeup and color person in Sephora was happening way too slowly, and I was interested in getting into makeup right away. Going to cinema and makeup school was something that was kind of in the back of my mind for a while. And at this point, I had already done a couple of freelance gigs. That particular year and the year prior, I had spent a lot of my own money, but with my Sephora discount kind of building up my beauty makeup kit. So I started to do a couple freelance gigs, not too many. I think at that point, less than 5. It was fascinating to me to learn how I was challenged by beauty makeup. In a way, you'd think that with my special effects background and with my face painting background, I would transition into beauty really easily, but I was actually fascinated by how challenged by beauty I was. And I was actually kind of shy. I was kind of insecure about my skills, and I really, really wanted more experience. I wanted more confidence, and I wanted to do much more bridal. I went to IMATS for the first time that October in 2016. At the beginning of 2017, I quit my job at Sephora because I had applied to cinema makeup school, and I got in and I went to cinema makeup school because I was sick of Sephora waiting to teach. I wanted Sephora to be the ones to give me that experience and to get a lot of experience applying beauty makeup to a variety of different faces. And I was excited that I'd be taught a very comprehensive set of skills at cinema makeup school. And I'd be able to work on several different types of faces, male and female, different skin types, different skin sensitivities. I wanted all that. So excited to be accepted to cinema makeup school, and I had my kit ready to go. I was excited about moving to LA, so all of that happened. And I left Sephora at the beginning of February, and by the end of February, I had driven cross country from Massachusetts over to Los Angeles. Lots of cool stops along the way, and I began taking classes at cinema makeup school. I think it was February 27th of 2017. Now that was a pretty long-winded answer, but that answer is going to be a little bit longer than the others, and I think you can understand why. So let's go ahead and talk about the next question, which is, which classes did you take? Now, cinema makeup school has a wide range of classes you can take, and a lot of people, when they I had a friend ask me some questions about cinema makeup school, and he was just like, how did you afford it? I think a lot of people think that you have to take the big comprehensive course, but you don't. There's other shorter, smaller courses with teach you more specific skills, which is something that I did. I didn't take the comprehensive course because I didn't have $30,000 to just spend, and I also didn't have that kind of time. When I took the class, I was already a working artist, and I specifically took a class in February, March, early April because I knew that would be a slower season for work for me, so I could take that time off. But yeah, the class that I did take is called the High Fashion Photographic Program. Somebody asked me if I got a scholarship. I applied for the scholarship, but I did not receive the scholarship, unfortunately. But now that I'm thinking about it, I might try to apply for the scholarship again. It might be worth it. I have more of a portfolio now that it's been 2 years, and I've been doing my 100 Days of Makeup program, and I've been doing lots of paid work, some set work, some bridal makeup, a lot of face painting. Perhaps my scholarship application would look better this time around, but for the time being, I did not get a scholarship, and I paid for this program out of pocket. And currently this program costs, tuition is $4,500, and then the lab fee is $150, and then there's the kit fee. However, a lot of the prices, I wrote down the prices for the comprehensive track and as well as the program that I took. A lot of the prices include the cost of supplies. However, I would recommend, if you're taking these classes, wait until the first week of class. Unless you all simply do not have a makeup kit of any kind, if you do have a pretty complete kit, wait until the first week of class, and they will give you a list of things that you need in your kit, and you go into the kit that you already have and just, make sure you have everything on that list. When I started class, my kit was pretty complete, but there was just a handful of things I didn't have that were on that list. And I bought them at the Cinema Makeup School store, and almost every one of the things that I bought from the Cinema Makeup School store, I never used. So there's only a number of things that I think were actually essential. Foundations, blushes, eyeshadows, the stuff that you need to make a face. There's a couple things I bought a mineral blush I never ended up using. I bought little cups to clean your brushes in, little tin cups, and never used those. The prices that you see online for the kit, if you have a pretty complete kit, you might be able to skip that cost altogether. Yeah, I also wrote down the cost of the complete track. So the complete track is $29,930, and I think that includes the cost of materials, and that includes the beauty, airbrushing, hair class, the digital effects class, a ZBrush class, a character class, a prosthetics class, a special effects class, a advanced laboratory class, an advanced beauty class, and a kind of creature maquette class. So that's it's an 8-month long program or something like that. and you learn all of this stuff. And it's basically everything you could ever need to know to be a makeup artist, and basically and be able to do every kind of little thing. And of course I would love to take that class one of these days, but I found it really valuable to take just the high fashion photographic program, which includes 3 classes. It includes the beauty class, which is 4 weeks, the airbrushing class, which is 1 week, and the hair class, which is 1 week. And that class gave me the confidence to be able to just kind of hit the ground running into the industry and start doing a lot more bridal, a lot more photography. I even started doing a lot of hairstyling gigs, because something I learned after I took this class is that you are much more valuable as a makeup artist if you can do some hair. You know, a lot of smaller budget projects can only hire one person to do makeup and hair. So having those hair skills made it so you could get hired for more jobs. So that ended up being really invaluable. Even though I'm not so good at hair, I'm good enough. So the class that I took gave you a little crash course into all the different styles you were likely to need on set. You know, I learned how to do several different types of braids, several different types of curls, how to pin hair up into beautiful updos, bridal updos. So I did a lot of prom and bridal updos when I came back after the class. When I was doing my gigs, at first I was really nervous in the beginning, but I was much less nervous than before I took the class. I think when you're starting out as a makeup artist and you're getting hired to do something like a wedding, it's a lot of pressure because it's somebody's really big special day. And if you don't make them look nice, even worse, make them break out because you don't have the hygiene skills to keep your kit really nice and clean, it's a lot of pressure. You don't want to mess up, but having the confidence of being like, oh, I don't have to worry that hard. I've done this before. I've set up this kit before. I've done this application before. I've made women look really beautiful before. So I can certainly do it again. That was the most important thing that I think I gained from cinema makeup school, is that confidence and that experience, knowing that I've done these certain types of applications before and I can definitely do it again. There's a reason that they're hiring you. It's because you have the expertise and you've applied that makeup to so many different skin tones, so many different skin textures and types, people of all ages, men and women, drag queens. I've done drag queen makeup before too, and that was great. I definitely feel like it helped me feel like I had a really rounded skill set and that I would be really valuable as a makeup artist on set or at weddings. Gained a lot of experience, gained a lot of confidence, and I definitely feel like it was a valuable experience that really helped me transition my career into not just a special effects makeup artist, not just a face painter, but a very well-rounded makeup artist and hairstylist that can be invaluable because of cinema makeup school, and also because of my own drive and all the time I took to practice and all the work I sought after and pursued and completed. I am a very well-rounded artist now. That also kind of covers one of the other questions, was, did you like it and was it worth it? Would you recommend it? I would say yes, absolutely. I loved the experience. I loved, I don't know if I mentioned in the intro that the classes are taught by a lot of industry professionals, including a lot of really famous makeup artists. Like, I met V. Neil when I was going there. I met Andrew Velasquez, who is an artist he was on American Beauty Star, which is like a Lifetime top model-esque competition show for makeup artists. I met Nelly Recchia, who is a super incredible body painter, and she taught me airbrushing, and she was incredible. A variety of really amazing artists. I learned a lot from Danielle Baum. Lindsay Dabalos was so friendly and sweet and extremely helpful, a great teacher overall. And Heather taught you period makeup. And Gail, who taught us a lot about joining the union. She was an incredible teacher to have, and I learned so much about the union from her and about being in this world from her. What it's like to work on commercials, what it's like to work on bigger budget things and being in the union and what have you. She made this industry seem like an exciting place to be. So having these mentors and these teachers was an invaluable resource. Being in a community of students was really special too, you know. I sometimes still collaborate and talk to some of my classmates too. And I love following them on Instagram and seeing where they are at with their journeys. One of the artists is now doing films. She's doing a lot of special effects for films, which is so awesome. One of them does strictly bridal. One of them works in a salon. And it's just been really fascinating to see their journeys. It's also great to have a resource of other artists to collaborate with in case, like, say you're doing a really large bridal party with like 10 people. You have friends and other industry professionals that can assist you or help you do some of those faces on those bigger parties. And sometimes they call you up too. So it's also a way to network. It's an expensive resource for networking, but valuable nonetheless. So those are all the things that kind of made it a valuable experience for me. That is why I would really recommend it. Not only did it give me a more rounded skill set and give me more experience and more confidence, but the networking was incredible, the mentorship was incredible, and all the knowledge I learned about what it's like to be a part of this industry and the excitement I gained from all the knowledge that I was acquiring, the excitement about the products, but also about what it's like to work in this industry and making people feel beautiful or scary or just being an asset on set. Like, these are all things that got me very excited and wanting to be part of this industry. So I would absolutely recommend it. That was one of the questions. This is a two-parted questions. Would you take classes there again? Yes, I would, and I actually really want to. Right now, I am in the process of trying to save some money in order to move back out to Los Angeles. As much as I feel like my career is really getting somewhere, even here in Massachusetts, where there's not really a film industry or any kind of advertising industry. I've done a commercial before. I've done some small film projects before, but they're few and far between. I'd like to be somebody that's doing them more consistently. And right now where I'm at with my career, I mostly make most of my money from doing face painting at birthday parties. And I typically do 1 or 2 makeup gigs a week. And I kind of like it that way because face painting gigs are pretty lucrative because of my reputation in face painting. I'm known to be a pretty good face painter, not to toot my own horn, but they pay a little bit better and they're more fun. They're less pressure. Weddings are a lot of pressure. It's a lot of waking up early. It's a lot of making sure everything's clean and pristine. It's a lot of doing the makeup that they want you to do rather than what you want to do. In the beginning, I was really inclined to doing a lot of kind of full coverage makeup, but the truth is a lot of people who are getting their makeup done professionally for the first time have never seen themselves with makeup on. So if you do something really full coverage of them, that might be jarring for them. So that's something I've learned with more experience as well. The cool thing about classes at Cinema Makeup School and why I'd like to take some more classes there again is, you pay the tuition and then you pay the lab fee. And then if you ever wanted to retake that same class that you already took, the second time you only have to take a lab fee. So I would like to actually retake the classes that I took. And instead of paying $450, I would only have to pay $150 for those 3 classes, for the hairstyling, the airbrush, and the beauty course. And I think taking it 2 years later would be really helpful because a lot can change in 2 years. I feel like there might be a lot more new makeup tips and tricks and techniques I could learn. Yeah, new methods of application I could learn from, new products. The nature of the industry might have already changed too. Now that I've kind of gained a lot of confidence and have practiced doing this makeup again, I'd like to rebuild my entire portfolio. Another great resource of Cinema Makeup School is that after you finish your application, they have a beautiful photo studio and a photographer that takes pictures of your work for you that you can later use in your portfolio. So that was an incredible resource, and I'd love to go through all that again. And hopefully I feel like that would make me faster and even more confident than I already am. Confidence comes from experience, and I feel like it was a great experience the first time around, and I think if I just were to do it again, it would reinstill everything I learned. It would make me faster, make me more confident, and I really want to do that again. Not only do I want to retake the classes I already took, but I'm really interested in taking the character class. I really want to learn how to apply bald caps and beards and hair and different things like that. And I'd also like to learn to do prosthetics. I would absolutely love to one day work on high budget film and TV projects, like where I do lots of special effects and prosthetic work. I think that would be incredible. That would be a dream come true, and that's something I would really want. Right now I'm just kind of saving up money and trying to move out to LA in a more permanent way rather than I did back when I took the course the first time around, and I just lived there for about 2 months. So now let's talk about what are the most important things that I learned and what were some things that were not so important. So I would say that the most important things, I guess I basically kind of already talked a lot about the most important things. The most important things is just the knowledge about what the industry is like, gaining that experience and confidence and learning all those different techniques and methods of application and learning about different skin types and skin tones and skin textures and skin sensitivities. Those were all absolutely essential. It's a thing that a lot of artists say that have taken makeup classes at a school, is that something invaluable that you learn is hygiene. So how to keep your kit sanitized and clean is an essential skill that I think it's a little bit harder to gain if you're self-taught. You can still learn. You can absolutely still learn. That might be an interesting video to make, actually, how to properly sanitize your kit. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see that, if you'd like to see how to properly sanitize your kit for makeup application. But yeah, that is an essential thing to know, because if you're not sanitizing your kit properly and you end up giving somebody a breakout, or much less like an eye infection, or you use the wrong kind of glitter on their eyes and it gets into their eyes and scratches their cornea, if you seriously injure somebody, that could mean the end of your makeup career. So sanitation and cleanliness and hygiene are essential parts of the job, absolutely essential. Some things I don't think that were important. As far as learning, I feel like if it's something that you didn't already know and you learned it, I don't know, I feel like there's not really a time that wasn't that important for me to learn that I felt like it was a waste of time. I don't think any of it was. I felt like in my experience, I have had a lot of experience with airbrushing before, so I did really easily in the airbrushing class. One of my friends just sent me a sweet text message. She says, I have been binge watching your YouTube videos and I just want to say, I love you. You are fucking rad and amazing. Tay! That's so nice. You're fucking rad and amazing. Anyway, I was talking about how I felt like I was a little bit ahead of the curve in my airbrushing class. I was learning out of stuff that were essential skills for the other folks in the class, like how to use a stencil, how to create a good blend, how to control the airbrush. I knew how to do all those things because I have done airbrush makeup for bridal before. I've also used the airbrush consistently at Six Flags when I was doing special effects makeup. And I also used the airbrush to do caricatures when I drew caricatures at Six Flags, as well as when I airbrushed t-shirts. So I am acquainted with the airbrush. I know about the airbrush. However, I still loved taking that class just because I felt a little insecure and a little lame in the beauty class because some of the other students in the class were a little bit more advanced and had more practice in that area than I did. But I really shone in my airbrushing class, and I created some really awesome pieces for my portfolio in that class, including the #1 best piece that I put together while I was in makeup school, which was like my final piece in my airbrushing class. I'll try to insert a picture onto the screen for you, but I loved it. It was like this, the theme was seasons, so you have to do a piece around seasons, and I picked fall, and I'll show you it. Tell me about what you think. I was so proud of that piece. And my model was walking through the halls of the school and people were just like, oh my God. It was a pretty striking piece. I was so proud of it. But to go with that, what are some things that you could have skipped learning about. It's not really a question of what skip learning about, but there's a couple of things that I absolutely didn't need for my kit. Like, they tell you a number of things that you need to buy for your kit. Like, they have a list of things you need to have in your kit, and there's a dozen things that I never ended up using. I might do a video. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see a video of Cinema Makeup School kit, what I needed and what I didn't need. That could be an interesting video. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the next question is, do you think that makeup school was necessary, or do you think that it was worth it? I absolutely thought that it was worth it. I feel like for me, it really did transform my career, and I was able to jumpstart my career right away. Like, as soon as I finished those classes, I started doing freelance gigs right away, and I gained a lot of confidence. I was busier, my schedule was a little bit more full. I just loved all the things that I learned in it. I loved being in that environment. However, I don't think it's necessary to take classes at a makeup school to gain this. If you feel like you are really confident with applying makeup on clients already, if you don't need that jump start, then you probably don't need to take these makeup school classes. And for most states, you'll have to check it out what that means in your state. But for most states, to be a freelance makeup artist, you do not need a license or certification. A lot of people think you need a cosmetology license. You do not. You need a cosmetology license to cut and color hair, but you don't need it in Massachusetts to style hair. So as long as you're not permanently changing somebody's appearance, you don't need any special licenses or certifications, only if you're doing a temporary, just, a little makeup, a little face paint. You don't need licenses for that. So if you are a quick learner and you feel really confident applying makeup to a wide variety of people, or if you have enough friends that would let you practice on them, rather than taking a class, go for it. You will save yourself $4,000. So if you think you can swing that, go ahead and go for it. Makeup school is not necessary. It's just, I really wanted to take the classes specifically because I've always functioned really well in an academic atmosphere. So if you're somebody that doesn't function well in an academic atmosphere, makeup school might not be for you either. But if you are, and you love learning the way I do, and you love being part of that atmosphere and around artists all the time and around industry professionals, I love that experience, and perhaps you would love that too. One of the last questions is, did they help you find work? This is an interesting question because I think a lot of people don't know when they start to think about perhaps starting a career as a makeup artist. I don't think they know makeup artistry is a gig-based economy. There's not necessarily a job that you can fill out an application for and then they hire you to be a makeup artist. No. You will most likely have to freelance, which means that you will have to advocate for yourself. You'll have to solicit your own work. You'll have to build a website. You'll have to apply for a bunch of gig solicitation websites online. You'll have to list yourself online. You'll have to pass out cards. You have to have a word of mouth kind of reputation. You will have to find your own work. I guess you could sign up for a agency. Unfortunately, there aren't a ton of agencies out here in Massachusetts, and the few that there are, their standards are high. They kind of control your life a little bit. So I kind of prefer to be a freelancer and kind of represent myself. But at the same time, as dreamy and awesome as it sounds to be your own boss and work for yourself, you don't actually work for yourself or set your own schedule or anything like that. As a makeup artist, your work is driven by whether or not you can convince somebody to hire you for a gig and keep that schedule busy. And I've learned over the years that January and February and March are really slow months, so I'm not doing a ton of gigs during those months. And, when I do have work, it's typically just the weekends, which is cool because that means you spent a lot of time during the week pursuing little passion projects, working on your fitness, meal prepping, all that stuff, and on the weekends you make bank. And for me, it's enough to keep me going, but I'm far from rich. And to answer, did cinema makeup school help you find work? They kind of gave you the information on what this means to find work as a makeup artist. They gave you a lot of information about what it takes to join the union, which is one of the best ways most secure ways to be a makeup artist. Being part of the union is almost kind of like having a makeup artist job without being just a freelancer, because you're working for the union and the union is finding you work and the union is making sure you're getting paid, making sure you're not being overworked. But the thing about the union is that it's a huge commitment. You have to work really hard to get into that union. There's a bunch of steps and a number of hours you have to work freelancing. However, after you take a course with cinema makeup school, you get put onto their email list, and every single day of the week they email you a list available makeup jobs. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but it's still in the end your responsibility to contact those people looking for gigs and making your case as to why they should hire you rather than the 10 other people probably emailing them for the same job. So it's a pretty cutthroat, competitive kind of business. You have to be really confident. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to have a really good portfolio. You have to have a range of skills. You have to prove to them why you're an asset. You know, cinema makeup school taught you about all those aspects of finding gigs and and the different ways you can get gigs. You can either be a freelancer, you can either join an agency, you can be part of a union. But there's no just like job that you apply for as a makeup artist. It's mostly freelance. You know, a lot of people may not be okay with that. A lot of people may be really uncomfortable with not having any work one week and having all the work the following week. One week you might be working in like 80 hours and the following week you might be putting in 2 hours. Like, you never know what you're gonna get with this industry, but you have to be prepared and be a risk taker and be able to bounce back when things don't go your way and land on your feet and just be confident and know that you are a worthwhile artist and those gigs will come. The slow season is the slow season sometimes. I hope that kind of covered that question. Let me know down in the comments below if it didn't and if I can clear something up for you. Okay, so I just have one last question here, which is, while you were taking those classes, how did you manage finding a place to live in LA, and what was it like to live in LA? First of all, I loved living in LA, and I'm currently saving up money to move back to LA in a more permanent way. But at the time, what I did was I just kind of lived in an Airbnb. I shared a room with my boyfriend in an Airbnb, lived there for 6 weeks with my boyfriend, and it was not that cheap. It was like $40 a night, but the thing is, it was really hard to find a place to live because I wasn't ready to sign a 6-month lease. I didn't want to live there that permanently. So Airbnb ended up being the perfect solution. I also used a credit card that gained miles to pay for this Airbnb, and as well for the class, which these credit cards had like a bonus package. So if you spent like $3,000 in 3 months, you got a bonus package of points, which gave me a little bit of a discount on living out there. So I got like $500 off of my living expenses and another $500 off going to cinema makeup school because I was able to redeem my points for a little bit of money. And if that's something that you think you might end up doing if you do decide to take these classes, I will leave a link to the credit cards I used before to get those bonus point packages to help me save a little bit of money out there. However, you know, I did look on Craigslist to see if I could find like a sublet, but all I could find was scams. So be careful if you're out there on Craigslist trying to find an apartment in Los Angeles. Most of the ones that are furnished and affordable are not real. So keep a close eye out for that. If it seems too good to be true, especially if they're just like, oh, sorry, I'm on mission work out in Uganda and I won't be able to show you the apartment beforehand. Do you mind just sending me the money and I'll send you the key? That's a red flag. Don't fall for that. But there's also a Facebook group that CMS runs. CMS is Cinema Makeup School, which is called the CMS Housing Group, which is a Facebook group where people who are coming and going from Cinema Makeup School share with you about their different housing situations and if they need a roommate, or I'm somebody that needs a roommate who wants to throw down in a room, that's a resource for finding housing. And also there's a link on the CMS website that is just like different hostels and different apartment complexes that you can apply to live in. So that's another resource too. So I think that covers all the questions, guys. If there's anything else that you guys want to know, I'm an open book. Overall, I think it's absolutely worth it, and I definitely want to return to Los Angeles because I really want to work in this industry in a more in-depth kind of way, and I want to take more classes in a makeup school. Not only do I want to retake the classes that I already took, but I'm really interested in their advanced beauty theory class. I think that would be so cool. It was a great resource for building up your portfolio, for gaining experience, for learning about how this industry works. I really, really loved it, and I really hope to take a lot more classes there. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and learning a little bit about my journey. I hope I answered all your questions. Like I said, if there's any other questions at all, I'm an open book. Let me know down in the comments below, or you can DM me. And before I go, I just really want to say, guys, I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm meeting a lot of really sweet people that tell me all types of beautiful compliments and tell me that they like my videos. And soon, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, if I ever do, I think I will. I think I'm really close. I'm excited to start making a tiny little bit of money from this YouTube channel, and that will be a little bit more incentive for putting together a lot more content for you guys, because then I'll be getting paid. Woohoo! If you're watching me for the very first time and you haven't subscribed, or if you're lurking, I would really hope that you subscribe to me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really loved hanging out with you. I hope you loved hanging out with me, and I hope to hang out with you again super soon. I plan to make some videos really soon about my makeup kit. I know that's something a lot of people have been really curious about. And if you guys have any ideas for other videos you'd like for me to make, let me know down in the comments below. Another disclaimer is that we're going into April and May and June, and my sister's going to be getting married in May, and I'm going to be going on working on a cruise ship in April, at the end of April. And June is a super busy wedding and festival month, so I'm going to be uploading a little bit less, but I'm going to try to at least be here at least once a week, hopefully twice or 3 times a week for you guys as much as I can. And especially if I'm monetized, I'll be able to do that, so I hope you guys subscribe. And yet again, I hope you guys really liked watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope it was informative and helpful. And until next time, cheers, guys. Cheers to you, and cheers to that. Bye.